Hello there, and as usual, I'm Aaron from My Stand Gamers, and welcome. So today we're taking a look at another beautiful vanilla ship from the Steam Workshop. Now this is of course the White Star by Cicero, and I have to say I absolutely love the design. Not just for the factor of its curves, its shapes, and just how he's added the detail to each individual part that we'll cover and then we'll go into the inside, but how this ship actually deploys and folds out. But first of all, let's have a look around it in its undeployed sort of state. So up here at the front we've got the bridge or the cockpit area that sits here right in the center, and I can't really work out if this is more of a ship or more of a deployable station. It could do technically both. Of course, it has the very risky combination here of rotors and pistons, and that scares the hell out of me, especially in any sort of survival sense, something you're not going to want to use it up here. But you can see how he's smoothed the design in here. It's still a little bit lumpy and chunky in areas, but it has enough power to propel the ship. We've got enough skylights and viewing areas so you can look out the station once it's deployed. And you can see each one of these panels here has been vented and slitted into here, so you can see into them areas on the inside. It feels very industrial. It feels very sort of like a mech warrior, or some part of a mech warrior would be attached to this. So we've got all these individual folding parts. So the next thing we're going to do here is enter through the back. So the back is still enterable even though the ship is folded up and deployed. So you could imagine flying your fighter into here through these lovely lights displays, landing it, docking it, locking up the air seal behind. You can see he's got these two catwalks up the side, and what he's done here is just very simple. He's used the vents here as a catwalk to go across the top as well, and we've got them viewing decks in that area. Now the internals of this ship are quite simplistic. They're not something that would just blow my mind on a first glance, but we actually have that folding out feature, and we're going to show you how that works by entering up through this simple airlock into this area. So it's only two airlocks, and you're actually at the bridge of the ship here. So we can actually have control. We actually are in control already. And all I'm going to press to actually deploy this thing is number 9. So by pressing 9 and turning off my hood, you'll see how this thing starts to deploy. Just look how cool that. I don't know, there's something about a ship that has things deploying from it, so it'll form into that star sort of pattern. But just look how that opens up. I've seen ships that deploy like this before. We've had one like a satellite that opened up like this with even more solar sort of panels along it. But just look at that. Just beautiful. It's just design and engineering at its finest, and you can do a lot in Space Engineers if you put your mind to it. So you can see them straps that were there at the front have actually retracted their pistons in, and they formed into that position there. So it's offering quite a lot of protection. It looks like that ship that has that giant sort of solar sail. I forget the name of it, but it was from that movie where they go in towards the sun to, I think, reignite it or something. But you can see we've got these little panels. We've got the batteries that are being charged from the solar cells on both of the sides. Very nice indeed. You could even imagine these as maybe like a terminal for other ships to dock. Well, you could even imagine these to dock on these and walk into the ship. I don't know. It's got multiple sorts of applications, this ship, especially in its station sort of form. I wouldn't really enjoy flying this around. So you can see the dock hasn't really changed much in function. Nothing really folds out inside. It's just here, ready to accept cargo supplies. You could have this as like a trade hub, perhaps, where all these ships come back and drop the supplies off, and then they head back out to the various ore depositories. But an absolutely beautiful design. Definitely check this out on the workshop. There'll be a link in the description below. And I think for one more time, we'll just fold it back up so I can show you how that actually happens. So the first thing I want to look at here is you see how these pistons are extending out, and they're actually pushing down and just folding back into that shape. I love it. I love the way. I've seen them bases in a suitcase sort of things, like fold out bases. They've even done like a deployable base in the past, and anything that folds out and deploys like that just has some really unique characteristics to it. So now it's in its deployed mode. Should we dare to try and fly this thing? I think we should. Let's hit 9 and just see how well this thing flies. I can feel like the parts are going to flex a bit. Now I am supposed to lock the rotors up, but I feel if I lock the rotors up, it might not be as entertaining to move around with. So can we deploy this technical on the move? Oh god, that side bit's opened up. We need to, yeah, you should lock the rotors if you're planning on flying with this thing. Look at that. I like how it moves though. It feels very organic in sort of shape. Can we deploy these on the move? Let's hit a number 9 and see if we can actually deploy and move. Oh, I don't think we've got enough power. Oh god, this is a bit risque, isn't it? Alright, switch back to that for the moment and see if these are actually deploying out. Yeah, so it's deploying as we move in. Wow, it looks so cool. That one's deployed a little bit faster and it's brought us to a halt. There's different parts. Nothing's broke off though. I guess the accelerate. Let's have a quick look at the acceleration, see how fast it actually accelerates. So let's hit an F9 here. Also, we've got quite a fast acceleration for a ship of this. You can see the solar cells, and then they're all clang into each other in a second. The other bit's opened up though, so if we cut our inertia dampeners for a moment, you can see how the shape's transforming as this thing's going through the air. I don't think this is intended. I think you're actually supposed to turn it off as you're flying it. But as these fins sort of move and rotate, it just gives that organic sort of alien ship. Maybe more of a purple colour as it drifts through space. Anyway, I'd like to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.